Some others, those are the paradigm shifts, right? Here are some other things that I think we need to turn our attention to in discipleship. Get a handle on screens. Okay, and this starts with us. This starts with the adults, because I think in a lot of ways the adults are worse than the kids. You know, I go to a staff meeting at church, and what are 80% of the teachers doing while the principal's up there talking? The very same thing the kids are doing, right? So if you preach about how bad screens are and you set restrictions to your kids, but then you're sneaking little Facebook snacks on your phone, your kids are going to see that. Okay. Now, physician, heal thyself. I'm saying this to myself just as much as I'm saying it to everybody else. You know, I don't have Twitter on my phone, but I do have it on my laptop. And recently I got a Twitter profile for my ministry, and it's just sucked me in, man. It's like a vortex. Like I can't get away from that stuff. So, oh man, it's really weird. I just go, you know, and it's so much so that I've had to tell my kids, look, I'm not allowed to be on Twitter on my laptop until you guys go to bed. So if you ever see me on Twitter, you call me out. And they're like, they're ready for that. So that's been very effective. That has nipped that in the bud. But, you know, it starts with you, okay? And then, you know, I'm not saying never let your kids have a cell phone and never let them watch TV. But, you know, wait as long as you can. And when they do get a cell phone, put the right environment. And I'm not just talking about rules, but I'm talking about life practices, okay? So for example, I see this a lot. This bothers me. You're out, maybe at like a church function or something, and you got to bring your kids, and they're in the corner. Stick a cell phone in their hands to entertain them. So, don't do that. Okay, your kids deserve better. Okay, you got to think of things like that, right? You got to think of things that you just don't question because they're normal. We've got to start turning our attention to those things, and then explain to them why you have these habits in the home and why it's necessary. So make sure they understand that. You know, let them see that Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma. Watch it with them and then discuss it. You know, and when you're out and about and you see that inevitable parent who's scrolling on social media or their kid's just kind of sitting there bored to tears, narrate that to your kids. Like, of course, you know, do it discreetly. Don't be like, "Hey, look at that." You know, you don't want to be that guy, but point out to your kids like, "Hey, look, the cell phone is getting in the way of true connection there and relationship. That's why we are different, because we want better for you." Okay, and you're going to have to constantly explain that to them, because they're going to see the normal and they're going to be like, "Why aren't we like everybody else?" Okay, almost done here. Almost done. A couple more things. Learn to engage Socratically with your kids. That means draw them out in conversation with good questions in your discipling. I've got a resource on my website devoted to this. It's like 30 pages of questions you can ask your kids, and like 20-some different topics. And I think it's helpful. I don't know. I created it. Now, I don't mean to throw the baby out with the bathwater here. There's a lot of direct teaching that goes on in my home. But I think we also need to be conversant in the Socratic style, because I think they respond to that better than lecture. And I think they respond to that better than like handing them a book and telling them to go read it. You know, we got to be very relational with this. Okay, so it's an art we gotta cultivate.